Okay,
Thanks, Joss.
it is now 9:05. It's November 17th. Board members present are Martin Callahan, Felix Grucci, Anne Marie Scheit, Frank Trotter, Fred Braun. The quorum is present. Minutes of our meeting of September 15th.
I'm supposed to read that thing and I don't have it. I'm sorry, guys. I just remembered that I'm supposed to be doing something. Is it in your notes from yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
You could wing it, Lise. Come on.
No, this I don't think I can wing.
Here you go. Second paragraph.
Okay, awesome. This meeting has been convened in accordance with Chapter 417 of the laws of 2021, Senate 50001, Assembly 40001, effective September 2nd, 2021 through January 15th, 2022, permitting local governments to hold public hearings by telephone and video conference. Okay, sorry. Please carry on.
Thank you. Our minutes of our meeting of September 15th have been sent to everyone. I need a motion to accept.
So move.
Second.
Second to Felix.
I was just seconding yours, Anne Marie.
We got to get the sequence straight.
I know, you're right.
Are there any comments, changes? Hearing none on the vote. Mr. Callahan,
Yes.
Mr. Grucci,
Yes.
Mr. Scheit,
Yes.
Mr. Trotter,
yes,
Ron votes yes. The motion is carried. Turn it over to Lori for the CFO's report.
Good morning. Included in the package, Lisa's going to bring it up, is
You
our
see it?
October,
Yes.
Okay, good.
is the October report, budget versus actual for the month and also year to date. I just want to mention during October for the LDC, there was not much activity other than just our regular recurring operating expenses and some investment income. We're planned, it looks like we will be ahead of what we budgeted. So that's the operating report for the month of October. Is there any questions?
And the bottom line, just for the record, Lori, shows what for the month of October, year to date?
Sure. 15,000 net loss for the month of October, and year to date, 66,000 year to date loss for the month, for the year, the period January 1st through October 31st. We compare, and comparing that to a pro rata share of the annual budget, we're ahead of that. So a pro rata share of our annual budget for the 10 months is 87,000. So if you look down below on the bottom line, you'll see in the fourth or fifth column, you'll see the pro rata budget compared to our share of the actual results. We're actually favorable of almost 21,000. Does that answer your question, Fred?
Yes, it does. Thank you. Any questions of Lori?
No.
Hearing none. Motion to accept our report, please.
Go ahead, Anne Marie.
Second to you, Felix.
I make a motion to accept the report.
Thank you.
Second.
Second, Anne Marie. Thank you.
Also, one of the items I want to mention is that all the payments that are required have been made timely as of the October 31st.
Okay.
And that-
There's a motion on the table. Mr. Callahan,
Yes.
Mr. Grucci,
Yes.
Scheit,
Yes.
Mr. Trotter.
yes.
Ron votes yes. The motion is carried. Back to you, Lisa. Yeah, just prevailing wage.
Oh, prevailing wage. I have nothing new to report. We actually did New York State. I think some of you participated yesterday in the New York State EDC's IDA Academy. Sorry, I couldn't get all those letters out. And there was a whole segment on prevailing wage. And, you know, those of you who participated, tell me if you heard something that I didn't hear, but basically what I heard was there's no update. One of the attorneys went so far as to say it is not legally possible, as it's stated now, it's not legally possible to follow this law. So I don't have anything new to, I was hopeful that after this academy, I would have something new to add to update you guys on prevailing wage, but it seems like we're in a status quo. The board has not been established. Nobody at the academy yesterday had any information on names that are being floated. Maybe they named 2 people to it. So far, there's been no activity that I'm aware of. Does anyone have anything to add?
I think the technical term for this situation is that it's a real hairball.
Well, that's better than the technical term I was thinking of.
But it also is a cluster. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with the statute is, okay, they have not appointed the committee, and the Department of Labor has not issued their required certificate, but yet the statute takes effect on January 1. So it really is putting everybody into kind of a quandary. We're urging everybody to close as many transactions by the end of December as they possibly can, and to sign their and execute their construction contracts before December 31st, 21. We are building into the documents provisions that the company will have to certify to the IDA, and we're even doing ones now to say that, if they're doing everything in December, that the statute does not apply, either because it's not a covered project because they entered into it before January 1, 22, or that 1/3 of the amount of the IDA benefits and any other public benefits you're receiving is less than 30% of the total construction cost, even though construction costs are not defined yet. So, I think most people are going to check the box saying, we're not covered because we did it in 21. But it is something that by statute, the project applicant is required to certify to the IDA starting January 1, whether or not the Section 224A applies to their project, and if it does apply, that they're in full compliance. A lot of people are concerned that if they do sign construction contracts in January, that the Department of Labor could give them stop work orders so they can prove compliance. The other thing I'm hearing is a lot of lenders will not approve projects come January unless they have certainty as to whether or not this is going to apply, because they don't want to approve a construction budget and a construction agreement and then find out, construction costs are going up 30 to 40%, and then it wasn't budgeted. So I think come January, unless you're by statute and excluded projects such as affordable housing, we may see things grind to a halt for a couple of months in the first quarter of 22.
Bill, should we be amending our application at this point to have a box or a couple of lines for other
Yes.
benefits that the company may have received?
That's right. And, we're going to probably, put in something in the application for that, and also say that they acknowledge that they will have to certify to the IDA, as required by the statute under penalty of perjury, whether or not the prevailing wage policies apply to their project, and if they do, that they're in compliance or will be in compliance. So we will have to amend the application, but it's going to be, that a couple of IDAs said, we've already made our budget this year. Can we push some of these transactions to next year, to help next year's budget? And I said, you know what? If you push to the next year, they may never close. And you're better off having money in the bank today to pay next fiscal year's expenses, because you may go several months without revenues. So at least you'll have, I'd rather have revenue in the bank, money in the bank. I'm sure Lori would agree. Money in the bank to pay next year's expenses, then worry about meeting budget for next year, because whether or not you meet budget is not as important as you have the cash to fund operations. So,
Bill, should the application be amended ASAP for any Any projects come in
it should-
between now and the end of the year?
It should be amended, starting now, yeah.
Okay,
Bill, are you putting together edits for that?
Yeah, we'll give you some edits for that. And I'll also circulate today some revised. We create a new section 8.13 in the lease agreement. It's already in port development. And we will start using that on all projects going forward, as well as until the Department of Labor comes up with a certificate, we created our own, for what it's worth. Partly, I don't think the state is focused on this statute. Certainly Governor Cuomo didn't. He had other things to worry about, and Governor Hochul was trying to pick up, running the state in mid-year, and she also has other things to focus on. But it's going to leave a lot of projects in limbo, and I don't think even by executive order, she can, statute that says it's effective on this date, she has the power to say, oh, we're going to postpone its effective date. Howard, do you have a thought on what the governor could do to that? You're on mute, Howard.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I'm muted. No, I agree with you, Bill. I interpreted there was only two ways he could defer the effective date of the statute, which was the legislation act, or if I recall, if there was a board, the board could defer the effective date effectively.
I don't think the statute says that.
Yeah. I don't know that it matters. It's academic since there's no board, but that was my recollection that they have there's a provision that allows them to essentially defer the effective date. It's Bill, if you get a chance, I don't think it's for everybody, but 224C, number 7. That's the way I read that.
How many people are on the board? Or will be? You know?
A lawyer yesterday said she thought it was something like 13 or 15.
Okay.
It says 13.
And nobody wants to touch this with a 20-foot pole, apparently.
And it's supposed to be appointed by the governor.
Who would want to be in that hot seat?
If you work for a labor union, you'd love to be in that hot seat.
Yeah.
Got two questions, if I could. First question is, do you think that with all of the confusion around the legislation, that there'll be a rewrite of the legislation? And my second question is, if we issue benefits to a contractor and they certify that they're meeting the prevailing wage provision of the law, and down the road, they don't meet the provision of the law, is it our responsibility to claw back the benefits that were given to them?
No, what would be is the Department of Labor can come in, do a work stop order, and then require them to go back retroactively and pay prevailing wages to everybody who worked there.
Bill, do you think, though, that the fact that they didn't comply with the provision of our agreement that requires them to do so, we could, if we wanted to, we could declare a default?
We can probably declare a default if we wanted to.
Yeah.
This is going to have a real chilling effect on construction in the state of New York.
I think unless you're doing something like a true affordable housing project that's excluded, you will see first the unions who push this are going to see they're not going to be getting a lot of work come springtime.
If a contractor builds a project in phases, and each phase doesn't meet the 30% requirement, are they exempted from the prevailing wage?
I can't give you an answer to that, Felix, without really looking at more detailed facts. But like, say something like Ron Cub, which is already subject to prevailing wage. But if Ron Cub, we're doing phase 2, and they're signing the construction contract for phase 2 in, say, March, or phase 3 in March, it could be covered. It would not impact the other sections we've already done. I mean, the other issue too is the biggest question is, definition of construction costs, because, if all you looked at as narrowly as the hard costs, then the benefits may be higher. But if you can count all the soft costs, including engineering, architectural fees, environmental fees, financing fees, all those kind of things to increase the total construction costs, if they follow the lien law as to what is construction costs and what's not, you might be able to get some, the irony is you want to increase your construction costs if you're going to be over 5 million, so that the amount of benefits is less likely to be 30%.
And we know the cost of materials is up significantly since COVID. So you got that going for you too. or
Yeah.
not. All right, does anybody have anything else to bring up for the Local Development Corporation?
No.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn that meeting.
Motion.
Thank you, Nick. Second,
Second?
Marty seconded.
Oh,
motion on the floor on the vote, Mr. Callahan,
yes.
Mr. Grucci,
Yes.
Mr. Scheit,
Yes.
Mr. Trotter.
Yes.
Yes, motion carries. Our meeting is closed.
Thank you.
Now open the meeting of the Industrial Development Agency. It is 9:22. This is Wednesday, November 17th. Board members that are here are Mr. Callahan, Grucci, Mr. Scheit, Mr. Trotter, Mr. Braun. We do have a quorum.
Today's meeting has been convened in accordance with Chapter 417 of the laws of 2021, effective September 2nd, 2021 through January 15th, 2022, permitting local governments to hold public hearings by telephone and video conference.
That currently expires, I believe it's January 15th.
Correct.
And that's up to the governor to extend that if she so chooses. Our minutes of our meeting of September 15th have been mailed to everybody. I need a motion to accept those.
Second to Felix.
Make a motion to accept. Thanks, Anne Marie.
Are there
Thank
any
you.
questions on those minutes? The transcription, actually. On the vote, Mr. Callahan,
Yes.
Mr. Grucci,
Yes, and I like the space bar hack.
I noticed you were using it.
Mrs. Scheit,
Yes.
Strata,
Yes.
Braun votes yes, motion carries. Lori, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay. Included in your package is the operating statement for the period year-to-date to October 31st, 2021. Just to recap, I just want to go through the individual columns and explain. The first column is our year-to-date as of September, and then I've added the October actual results to give you the 10-month results combined. And this is for the income statement. And then what I've done is in the next column, it's the fourth column, is compared it to a pro rata share of our budget for the year. I've showed a variance, which is the difference between the budget and the 10-month number. And also all the way at the right, far right is our annual amended budget, because we did have one amendment this year. To speak to the second column, October actual is what I'm going to review with you today. During the month of October, we had 2 applications and we also had 3 closings. We had 2 mortgage refinancing. So that's what hit income this year, the month of October. And then down below are all of our expenses, which are pretty much in line with what we budgeted, nothing out of the realm of what we've had expected. So year to date, our results are a net positive of 1.9 million. Comparison to budget is we expected, or we projected a balanced budget, but we actually have a positive budget. So our variance is 1.9. Is there any questions on anything?
None?
Sorry, we were muted. I apologize.
Are there any questions from the board?
No.
Frank, did you have a question?
No, I'm good.
All right, hearing none, motion to accept the report then.
Frank,
Go ahead, Frank.
I make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
I'm looking at an email screen, somebody's email on my screen. Did
Me
I
too.
lose?
Oh, you know what? I have to stop sharing. Sorry. I apologize.
On the motion, Mr. Callahan,
Yes.
Mr. Grucci,
Yes.
Mr. Scheid,
Yes,
Mr. Trotter,
Yes,
Mr. Braun votes yes, motion carried. Lori, as the payments?
Yes, this is to confirm that all payments have been made timely to our, as required to, for taxes, for payroll taxes, and for any other withholdings as required by law. So we are in compliance with timely payments as of October 31st.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Any other questions for Lori? Hearing none, Lisa, I'll turn it back to you.
Okay. Sorry, give me
Go.
2
Let me-
seconds.
Let me have it back. I'll take it
I-
outside.
Nope, I got it.
Okay.
The next item on the agenda, we have some resolutions. I apologize about that. Not the resolutions. The next resolution on the agenda is for the Sun River Townhomes project. To remind everyone, Sun River is a project that we closed recently. It is 125 rental unit houses in Manorville. It actually crosses a few school districts. We received a letter, which is in your packets, increasing the costs of the project to about 40 million. And the project requested an increase in their sales tax allowed. The letter basically explains that the costs have gone up because of COVID, which is an ongoing theme with all of our projects. We did a public hearing yesterday. The cost benefit analysis is in your packets, and there was no comment at the public hearing yesterday. The attorney for the project is on in the waiting room, I guess. Bill, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
Sorry, no. When we closed this, we knew, and we explained to everybody that we were gonna have to come back and amend this, but we didn't want to postpone the closing because they wanted to start construction. So this was contemplated that we would be doing this.
so the additional is how much?
It's
At 8 million? Is it?
I was gonna say about 10. It increased, I have the letter here. Hold on a second. It increased from, oh no, I don't have the letter. I can find it now.
Oh, the increases in the three categories. Okay, 8159 and 8,159,000.
Josh, will you let Annette? Okay, thank you. So, and that drove an increase in the sales tax. So we had to do a public hearing before you could consider that. And like I said, there was no comment. Peter, if you have anything you want to add, will you just raise your hand? Or chat? Peter would like to add something. Josh, will you let him in?
Open the door and let him in.
Good.
Voila.
Morning, Peter.
Morning, Peter.
Oh, that wasn't so difficult. Yes, I wanted to also add that there is an increase in the mortgage that will be required to fund the construction and then the operation of the project. So the request is both for the sales tax increase and the mortgage tax increase. And I think we laid out in one of the paragraphs that the mortgage is increasing to $24,350,000. So we're looking for both of those abatements to increase. And as I think I mentioned in the letter, of course, increases in construction costs result in increased benefit to the town of Brookhaven. Labor will be paid more, materials will cost more, and more money will get spent in the town during the construction of the project. So whatever information we had in our original economic reports is supported even more by the increased construction costs.
And Peter, that increase is about 8,159,000. Is that still accurate?
Well, the overall increase is more than that because the soft costs went up. So that category is the hard costs that would result in sales tax abatements.
So the overall cost is increases even more than that, but those are soft costs like increased costs for the mortgage, financing costs, things like that.
So, according to Peter's letter, the increase in the mortgage recording tax abatement will be $182,625, and the increase in the sales tax abatement will be an additional $1,579,825.
Good.
I'm sorry, that's not accurate. I mean, what, those are
Reading
the
from your letter.
aggregate costs, Bill. So in the lease and project agreement, we had a maximum sales tax savings of $1,076,001, which is now going up to $1,579,825. It's actually a lesser increase than that.
Peter, are you asking to extend the time on the benefits, or you just want to increase the benefits?
No, I'm not asking to extend the time. At this time, they're actively starting the project. They were starting the project with equity, so the mortgage financing had not been finalized yet. They already own the property, and their equity requirements would require that they put up their money first. So they're putting up their money first.
Thank you.
Bill, the question I have is with regard to the mortgage recording tax. Is the resolution cover the increase?
Yes. Sorry, I just dropped Peter's letter. I'm trying to pick it up. Yes.
So the resolution is correct.
I
More
believe
like a
it
hot potato than a letter.
And even if the resolution isn't correct, you guys can vote whatever you want. We can just amend it.
We can fix the paperwork.
Yeah.
All right.
So just to reiterate, what Peter is requesting, that the sales tax exemption, the mortgage recording tax exemption on the amount of a mortgage of $24,350,000 will be $182,625, and the sales tax exemption on construction costs of $18,316,810 will be $1,579,825. Is that correct, Peter? I'm reading
Hold on, have me scrambling to do my math now.
from like the second to last paragraph of your letter on the first page.
That's correct. That's correct. So the aggregate amount of the abatement of the mortgage tax abatement will be $182,625. The aggregate amount will be of the sales tax will be $1,579,825. That's correct.
Bill,
Yes.
I'm a little bit concerned about the public hearing notice.
Okay.
I don't see, and I'm just looking very quickly right now, but I don't see mention of the mortgage recording tax in it.
Well, we approved the original mortgage recording tax.
Okay.
And I believe if you look at your original one, we probably authorized, I don't know what the amount was. Can you check that?
Mm-hmm. The original public hearing notice?
Yeah, in your original cost benefit analysis, how much was your mortgage recording tax exemption then?
Glasses on.
That way I can see. Even with them on, I can't see. I can see, I just can't process.
You want to try mine?
No, then I'll have a headache. Thank you, though.
I try to be helpful.
Updated. That's the updated CBA. Let me just find the original one. Sorry, everybody, bear with me. The original cost benefit analysis considered a mortgage recording tax of $152,000.
So you were increasing that by 30,000. So that additional benefit is fine.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. I just wanted to make sure that everything was covered.
If there are no further questions, a motion to approve the resolution.
I motion to move this.
Frank, is there a second?
Second, Felix Grucci.
Motion on the floor. If there are no further questions on the vote, Mr. Callahan,
Yes.
Mr. Grucci,
Yes.
Mr. Shea,
Yes,
Mr. Trotter,
Yes.
Mr. Braun votes yes, the motion is carried. Thank you, Peter.
As always, I thank this board for its consideration. Have a great day, everyone.
You too.
Enjoy the holiday,
Thank
Peter.
you.
take good
Bye-bye.
care, Peter.
The next item on the agenda is the Long Island Avenue Holdings project. To remind everybody, this was a project that we actually closed before COVID, way back when. This was a proposal for a 15,000 square foot multi-tenant industrial space. Again, because of COVID and various factors, their construction was delayed. We received a letter, it's also in your packets, requesting an extension of their completion date, an extension of their sales tax expiration, and a shifting of when the pilot is going to start. It'll still be the same dollars, the same total amount of time. We just are pushing the start date and the end date, just shifting the whole thing. The letter and the cost benefit analysis are in your packets. And we had a public hearing on this yesterday. Also, there was a lot of public hearings yesterday, and there was no comment at this public hearing. Howard, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
No, everything was being pushed out. So when they promised us the FTEs and things like that, everything was being pushed of COVID. They didn't want to start the project. They were afraid to. And so that's why they've pushed all the dates out by 3 years. And I anticipate, actually, Lisa anticipates, they will be coming back to us in the near future because they'll wake up and realize they need to borrow, they need sales tax exemptions because all the costs went up. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
And I don't know if you heard what Fred just said, but for each of the maximum 15 subtenants, it might be end up that somebody wants more space and it'll be fewer than 15, but we will get subtenant applications for each of those entities.
A motion, please.
Marty,
Oh, so moved.
Second.
Was it Marty's turn?
Oh,
Is there a
I'll second it, Felix Grucci.
Thank you.
thank
Felix.
you, Felix.
Are there any further questions on the motion, Mr. Callahan,
Yes.
Mr. Grucci,
Yes.
Mr. Shea,
Yes,
Mr. Trotter, Mr. Braun?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is BRP Farmingville LLC, also Brookhaven Ventures. This, to remind everybody, is a project that we looked at a long time ago. It's been in the works for a long time, and they came back to us. We've yet to close this. It's 292 units of rentals at 510 Horse Block Road in Farmingville. They came back to us with a letter, which is included in your packets, explaining that costs went up. So you see a theme with this. Also in your packets is the cost benefit analysis and the pilot. As a result of the increase in cost, the mortgage recording tax exemption and the sales tax have gone up. So again, we did a public hearing yesterday. There were no comments. And as Bill mentioned earlier, there are a number of projects that are hoping to close this year. This is one of them.
Sweet. I got a question.
Sure, Marty.
Is that Mike Kelly's project?
Yes.
It
thank you.
was.
This was originally, this is the company that's basically took over the project from Mike Kelly.
Right.
So just put on record that whether I should recuse myself or not, my son Brendan works for Mike Kelly. It's not the same company. It is the same company, or
No, these are the people who bought the project from Mike Kelly.
just let you know.
Thank you, Marty.
But if Mike Kelly is gonna be a subcontractor to construct this, Bill, and I don't know that for sure.
I believe,
I don't know.
I believe he is going to be a subcontractor on the project. That's why he hired my son.
So should Marty, just for, you know,
I don't mind.
belts and suspenders, should he recuse, or is it okay? Annette, what do you think?
Recuse, we got a quorum.
Might take a
If
chance.
if you have enough votes, it doesn't hurt to have Marty recuse himself.
I agree.
So
You
does
right?
does Marty need to get up and leave the room?
Yeah, Marty, why don't you go get a cup of coffee?
Thanks, Bill.
All right, may I have a motion? Or do we already have one? I mean,
Err
Motion.
on the side of caution.
That's what we're doing.
Recuse.
Annette.
Is there a second?
Oh, wait, Lou Fiore is on. Lou, do you have anything that you wanted to add to this? If you do, just raise your hand. Oh, Lou has something he wants to, I should just bring people in. Sorry.
Instead of keeping him in the green room.
You liked that, didn't you? We were in the green room.
I just wanted to give you an update on closing. We're hot and heavy with the construction lender now, and we're looking to close this probably the second week in December.
Bill, did you hear that?
Yep, we will be all geared up, ready for it.
Okay.
Great. Yep.
I think there was a motion on the floor. Was there a second?
Yep.
Thank you. On the vote, Mr. Grucci,
Yes,
Mr. Scheit,
Yes,
Mr. Trotta,
Yes,
Ron votes yes. Motion is carried. Mr. Callahan abstained,
Recused.
recused, excuse me. Thank you. Motion carried.
Thank you, guys.
Lisa, back to you.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is Interstate Mechanical Services. We received two letters, Interstate Mechanical Services and Williams Realty Holding. This is the project that we did recently at 355 Sills Road in Medford. So originally their completion date was set to be 12/31 of 21. They requested, and I'm doing both, we should probably do these separate, but it's exactly the same information. So I'm going to say it once and then we can vote 2 times. They requested that the completion date get moved to 6/30 of 22. And they also asked that their sales tax, instead of expiring the end of this year, gets pushed to 6/30 of 22. And they've asked for $30,000 more of purchase power for each entity. So a total of 60, but it's two separate entities. Does anyone have any questions?
We need a resolution.
We need
Right,
2
we'll
resolutions.
do it separately.
Yeah.
Resolution first for Interstate Mechanical Services.
so
so
moved.
move.
Rucci.
Second to Felix.
Thank you. Further questions? Hearing none.
Bill, did you have anything you wanted to add?
On the vote, we'll go in reverse order just to spice it up. Mr. Trotta,
yes,
Mr. Scheit,
Yes,
Mr. Grucci, is Mr. Callahan back?
Yes,
Marty?
Marty? On the vote, you're muted, I think.
Yes,
On the vote?
yes.
Thank you.
All right.
Ron votes yes, the motion carries. Similarly, on Williams Realty Holdings LLC, motion,
I think Marty made that one.
okay? Mr. Trotta, you seconding it?
I second that one.
Thank you. On the vote, Mr. Trotta,
Yes,
Mr. Scheit,
yes,
Mr. Grucci,
yes,
Mr. Callahan,
Yes.
Ron votes yes, motion is carried. Thank you.
So the next item, thank you, everybody. The next item on the agenda is an update from our governance committee. So I think everybody was there. Everybody who's here was there, I think. UTEP, I'm going to continue to work on it. If anybody has anything that they'd like to add or bring forward or talk through or send an email, I would love the insights. As far as tuition reimbursement, I reached out to the HR people and they gave me some stuff back, not exactly what I needed. So I've been back and forth with them trying to get something that I think gives us what we need, and they are putting together the HR handbook right now, so it makes sense to have them make sure the language is right, because it would, if it's voted on, it will end up going in there. Prevailing wage, we had a, I'll say robust conversation recently about it, but there's
Nothing.
right, robust about not much to say. And then also the renewable energy pilots, I'm going to continue to work on those. Again, if anybody has, I mean, there's a lot of information as far as NYSERDA is concerned, so I think we have a pretty good.
Screen froze.
Whose screen froze?
Felix's screen froze.
Do you need us to do something?
I think he's
It's
good.
back again. I see you moving.
Okay, can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's probably more important than seeing me doing crazy moves. I know I do a lot. So renewable energy, if anybody has any insights into those, I think we do have a good path with everything that NYSERDA has put together. But again, that's an ongoing conversation, hopefully something that we will have fleshed out and back to you guys to make sure we're all on the same page in the not so distant future. I feel like a lot of this is going to end up being next year, but it's getting pretty close. Sorry. Any questions? Okay, the next item on the agenda is prevailing wage, but we just went over that. And then ABR Hotel and Loft. So I think in May, we extended the ABR Hotel and Loft project. That's the project that's in the Meadows at Yaphank facility. This is the hotels and, I'm sorry, the apartments and hotel. And they put in a letter asking us to extend their completion date and their sales tax completion. And what I said in the meeting and you voted on was not what was in the letter, although all the documents that Bill's office put together was in fact what was in the letter and what we should have done. So I just want to make sure that everybody's on the same page and that our minutes, we can find a path with our minutes that makes sense, where if someone were to question it, we can say, yes, that was an error in that one, but we corrected it in this one. So
This is the hotel that, the Hilton that we had the opening at?
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So they requested, I misstated that they requested an extension to September 30th of 21. What they actually asked for was an extension to December 31st of 21. Everything that we signed with them is accurate, but our minutes were, there was a misstatement in the minutes. So it's just a clerical correction is what I'm asking for, but also just make sure that everybody is good with what we did.
Do you need a resolution on that?
Bill, I don't think so, but
Okay.
Just
No.
clarification.
Yeah.
thanks, Frank.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is our
Most important.
our December meeting. Wait, Frank, where are you going? Most important. Our December meeting, which
I wanted to
is-
grab something.
I'm just teasing you. December 8th. So I think what's going to make the most sense, and I just wanted to get everybody's feedback on this, is that we have a virtual meeting, let's say from 3 to 4:30. Is that good on December 8th? And then we sign off and then we go straight to the restaurant.
Good.
Which will be Old Fields in Port Jefferson.
Yes.
And if the agenda, I mean, I think we should target it for 3 o'clock. If it looks like we have an extended agenda, we'll move the meeting up.
Right, we'll have it start at 2 if it looks like it's, you know, I can tell you, we already do have some business on it. We have 1, 2. We have 3 resolutions. Oh, which reminds me of one more, but okay, sorry. I have 2 more things I want to tell you guys.
What time is Old Fields are we anticipating?
Josh, did we have it start at 5 or 5:30? You can just use your space bar. Oh,
I tried and it wouldn't work for me.
okay.
Mine wouldn't work either.
It's currently set for 5:30, but they can easily move it up to 5 o'clock. I'm
And
sure.
we could always start the meeting at 3:30 if that makes more sense.
We'll target it for 3 and adjust as the agenda dictates.
Does
I
that
have
sound
a
good?
conflict for the dinner portion. I can make the meeting portion, but I won't be able to make the dinner portion.
Sorry, Felix.
No problem. Just somebody have a steak for me.
I was just trying to figure out how we could.
Steak or a
fax
drink?
it to you, or you tell us the system.
Somebody will take the steak, I'll take the drink.
What time does the meeting actually start?
As of now, 3 o'clock.
But Frank, we might have to move it either forward or backwards depending
Yeah.
on what the agenda looks like.
No, no big deal.
Mhm.
Okay. So we're gonna get a new invite, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, yep.
but yeah. Do you want us to hold it on your calendars at 3 right now and then we can adjust it as it gets closer?
That'd be great.
Sounds
Terry,
good.
would you do that? I think she just said it's done.
Oh, there it is.
Ah, there it is.
Oh, I tell
Thank
you,
you.
I have accepted.
Okay, so that's the plan for the 8th. Also keeping, well, hold on. One more thing I wanted to tell you. I forgot that we did that New York State EDC conference yesterday. One of the other things that came out of it is there's a new cost benefit analysis tool. The one that we've been using, which by law we have to do a cost benefit analysis, is going away January 1st. So, or December 31st. And this new tool that seems to be the only one on the market is, I think, does what we needed to do. We have to make a couple of changes to our application or get a few pieces of information from our projects, but nothing crazy. And it's $1,000 and then we own it. So I think it's a good option. It's certainly affordable. And I think it's going to do what we need to do in order to check that requirement. So
It looked very cool, and there were lots of screens, but it looked very user friendly to
Yes.
I thought so,
figure out
yeah.
what goes where.
Yeah, and the one that we're using right now was sort of set up for, it was set up for upstate New York, and Long Island was a little bit of an afterthought. So we've had all of these workarounds, and so I have to like contort myself. At one point I thought, well, I'm going to teach some other people in the office how to do this so that we have some backup. But it was like to tell them all the ridiculous contortions to make it work, and it's effective and it's good, but we had to do a lot of things to get there. So this one is much simpler, much cleaner. We put the information in. There's not a whole bunch of back end calculations going on. So there's fewer things that can go wrong. You know, you can take a piece of paper and do all the math on the side and then just drop the number in. So
It looks like it works right out of the box.
yeah. So it's $1,000. I think we're just going to go ahead and get it because we need it, and there's really nothing else on the market. And I have been talking to a lot of people about putting one together, and MRG, I think. MRD, they were the only ones who sort of rose to the occasion and put something together. So, and the last thing that I wanted to bring up is, don't forget Monday, 10:30 a.m. at Topgolf. We're getting on the bus, rain or shine. Maybe we'll make an exception if there's a tornado. But other than that, we're getting on the bus and we're doing the tour. So I just wanted to remind everybody, this Monday, the 22nd, this Monday coming up.
What time?
10:30 a.m. at Topgolf.
What time?
10:30 a.m. Amy's going to send out a reminder. Does anybody have any questions about that?
Nope.
What time do we anticipate finishing?
4 o'clock. Well, back to Topgolf by 4 o'clock at the latest.
Okay,
And then we reserve Topgolf for 2 hours.
nice. Okay, sounds good.
And even if my doc didn't want me to see you lovely people, that's the day my class meets on Zoom.
Wow.
Okay. Anne Marie, do you think you're going to join us on the 8th?
I'm not sure. I will talk to her about that.
Okay, okay. No, no pressure. I just, when
Mhm.
everybody knows if you can.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
That I may be recuperating from the booster shot.
Okay. Well, if everybody would just let us know if you're planning on attending on the 8th, that way we can make sure we have a good head count.
Okay.
Does anybody have anything else?
Cheryl?
Amy, did anybody from Todd's office join? You're muted.
There's no one there.
Okay.
No?
No.
Sorry, Lisa, I sent him an invite right before we left yesterday. My apologies.
No, it's not your fault. He knows our meeting schedule. Okay. Does anybody have anything else?
This may be a record. Recent
Happy
record.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Have a
everyone.
great-
I need a
Have a
motion.
great
Thanksgiving,
holiday, everybody.
everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving. God bless
holidays.
everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
We
We need a motion.
To adjourn.
So moved.
Motion.
Thank you.
Second,
Callahan,
Yes.
Mr. Grucci,
Yes.
Mr. Scheit,
yes.
Mr. Trotter,
Yes.
Ron votes yes. We are adjourned. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Thanks,
Happy
everybody.
Thanksgiving,
See you
everybody.
on
Take
Monday.
care.
Bye.
Bye.